Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me. My name's Jessica Levchenko and this is what we're going to be creating today. If you like any of my videos, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe. So these are just like a little note card if you wanted to do them, if you have a business and you wanted to put them in with customer orders, or you just wanted to say thank you to someone. So let's start off today by cutting all the pieces out that we need for it. So I'll just pop that up here. Alright, so if you grab yourself some Whisper white cardstock, all we need to do is cut it in half, which is 14.9 centimeters, and you'll get 4 cards out of one piece of A4, and then you're going to cut this one in half again, which is 10.5. So I'll get rid of that. Then we're going to score just under 7.5 centimeters. Fold it over and grab your bone folder and score it down. So that's our card base. Squishing my card up there. Next you need, for this part here, just some scrap paper. So we're going to cut our scrap paper down to 7.5 centimeters by 1.5 centimeters for this one. I'm going to use this side of it as straight as you can. And that gives us our bit of paper for our sentiment. So that's all we need in the Whisper White. Now you can use whatever DSP or designer paper or coloured paper that you have, and then just choose a cardstock or a plain colour that you like that goes with it. On this one I'm using the Dapper Denim. So if you take an A4 sheet of paper, you'll actually be able to get 9 cards out of one A4 sheet of paper. So you just need to cut it down to 7 centimeters, which I have here. And then you want to cut it 8 centimeters. So you'll get 3 lots of 8 out of that. And then you also want one that is 2 centimeters. And we're going to go this way. I find for the smaller numbers to measure on this side of the ruler, because it gives you this whole length to straighten your piece of paper. So I'm just going to cut. You can get 3 out of one sheet of one strip. You'll get your 3 2s and your 3 8s. So that's enough there to make another 2 cards. And then the last thing you'll need is your patterned paper. So you can use whatever pattern paper you have. I've got this one today. It's slightly different. I've run out of the white background, so we're going to use this one here. Now this one needs to be cut at 6.5. And then 7.5. So what did I do? Enough for 3 cards. So we might, oops, that's not my cutting blade. We might do 3 cards worth. I didn't cut that big enough. I didn't. Yes, I did. 7.5. I'll just cut my 3 cards while I've got my trimmer out. Which one will we use? Let's use this one here. So that's all the cutting that you need to do, and you have all your pieces for your card. This is a great one to make in bulk. Because you can cut all your pieces and then just assemble it. So from here, we'll put these all to the side. We'll glue it all together in one lot, but we're going to put the sentiment on. So the sentiment that I'm using, it's from A Wish for Everything. Now this is a current stamp set. It's great because it's got a multiple different sentiments that you can mix and match. And then one we're going to use today, giving thanks for you with a very grateful heart. So today we're going to use our Stamparatus. I'm not going to use it on the block. And I find with the Stamparatus, it's really good, especially doing your sentiments, because it's normally the last part of your card, and you just want to make sure that you're actually doing it right and dark enough. So the Stamparatus is really good because it means if you have, for some reason you haven't put enough ink on, you can go again, you can do it twice. But we're going to use embossing today. So I'm just going to put my piece of paper under here. You can also stamp it and line it up so you can do multiples. So this one you can see I've got some little drawings. I know that my piece of paper goes in here, and that actually needs to go down a little bit further because it's not really centered. I need to clean my plates, they're a bit dirty. So that's where we want here. Now I might just move it across a little bit so you can actually, we'll just take, right, we'll move it across. So we're going to do our embossing today, but I learned a really cool trick. So to use just your clear embossing powder, which I'm just going to put this here, your clear embossing powder, and you can make your sentiment whatever color you want. Get yourself an embossing buddy and just slide it over the piece of paper that you're going to be stamping on. This will stop any of your embossing powder sticking where you don't want it. So what we're going to do is first we're going to get our Versamark ink. Just give it a good dab. So it's very, very light. I'm not sure if you'll pick that up in the camera. Then you can come in with your stamp pad. So we're using Dapper Denim today because that matches the cardstock that I used. Unfortunately, these are retired colours for stamping up, but you can use whatever colour you like. Now, I don't think that's quite dark enough for what I want, so I'm just going to go in and do it again. There you go. Make sure you clean your stamps off as well. So I've got my chamois here, just spray it with a bit of water, and my chamois is well and truly used, but it still does the job. And clear your stamp off. Pop that one away. Now grab your clear embossing powder. I've just made a little shovel with mine out of just a bit of cardstock. And pop it on. That's all stuck there. Now the magic happens. I love embossing. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit loud for you. With these small sentiments, I like to pick them up with a pair of tweezers because it can get very hot. So sorry about the noise. This will take a little bit longer to heat up because my heat gun's cold. I haven't used it yet today. I should have turned it on to warm it up before I started. Here we go. You can see it changing. Once it's hot, it changes so quickly. Now don't touch it while it's hot. That embossing powder gets very, 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 very hot. So don't touch it, let it cool down. It only takes a minute to cool down. And I've warped my paper. Okay. That's done. Now we can assemble the card. So I'm just going to stick my, where's my glue? I'm going to use our Tombow liquid glue. Love it, gives you a little bit of wiggle movement, but also gives you a really, really good hold. So you just want to place that roughly in the center. Perfection is not for me. I'm not someone that needs it to be perfect. It's handmade. Handmaids should have little imperfections in them. Okay, now I just centered this roughly in the middle of my card front. Then we're going to glue our sentiment onto our backing. I like this one. I've made the backing slightly smaller than the sentiment, so I'll put the glue on the backing just to give a little bit of an overhang. And see, I can still wiggle it a little bit if I need to. And then we're just going to use Dimensionals to pop it on the back to give it some height. Take the backing paper off your Dimensionals. Make sure your sentiment, now you can either go higher or lower in the middle. I'm going to go around here because I want to be able to see these two flowers. And just pop that down. And there's your card. What I did as well as just in the inside of it, I've got the Freezer Bird stamp set. And I just used this little one here. On a clear block. And I used our Crumb Cake ink pad. So that matches the brown in the background of the card. Just to give us something on the inside. Okay. So that's just on the inside of the card. And then I grabbed my markers. I've got Old Olive and Flirty Flamingo, if my words worked today, and just coloured them in. You didn't have to colour them in. I wanted to colour them in. And that is done. The inside of your card and the outside of your card. Really simple, easy card to do, to make multiples of. You can use whatever sentiment you have. I like the heat embossing on the top. It just gives it a little something extra. And thank you for watching today. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you for watching.